This is Matador News.
Good afternoon and welcome to Matador News. I'm Justin Gutierrez.
And I'm Alexi Chibashian.
United Airlines flight turns back after a passenger ran towards the cockpit. The male passenger ran up the aisles yelling, "Jihad, jihad." Other passengers restrained the man after he began to act violent. Cell phone video footage caught on the scene shows a man being held down with bruises on his face.
I'm fine.
You're talking to Sergeant Molnar. What's your rank?
Oh, my father. I'm sorry.
The man's mental state is still unknown. No weapons were found after he was arrested. So far, there has been no connection to terrorists in the man's background.
Authorities have issued an arrest warrant in Pomona for LAPD officer Henry Solis. He is wanted on suspicion of murder in the death of Janelle Rodriguez, Jr. Authorities say the man was shot Friday following a fight. They say Solis may be driving a brown or tan 1992 Ford pickup truck with a California license plate. Anyone with information on Solis's whereabouts should contact the police immediately.
An LAPD officer has been charged with trying to smuggle a man to the U.S. from Mexico. The officer was identified as Carlos Curiel Quesada, Jr. U.S. officials say the 34-year-old officer was stopped at the Otay Mesa border crossing on Saturday. The officer and the passenger, who are both U.S. citizens, were asked to go through an imaging device which detected something in the rear cargo area of the SUV. Officers searched the vehicle, found a 26-year-old man in the rear cargo area. The man was Mexican citizen with legal right to enter the U.S. Quesada appeared in the federal court in San Diego yesterday, and his bail was set to $20,000.
For San Francisco police officer under investigation after allegedly sending racist and homophobic texts to one another on their personal cell phones. San Francisco Police Chief Greg Suarez said he is looking into terminating the officers. The texts date back to 2011 and 2012 and came to light when they were used in a bail hearing for a former officer.
This is disturbing. This is a real problem.
So I don't want you to believe that this is a deep-rooted problem within the department. In my 21 years, I can assure you that it's not.
We're going to have to review at least 141 cases and probably more.
The texts reveal insults against blacks, Hispanics, and gays. Chief Sir says the texts were sickening and disgraced the department.
Authorities are searching for a gunman in the Pico Union area after an 18-year-old pregnant woman was shot severely wounded this past weekend. Police say that the shooting appears to be gang-related. Police say there has been a rise in gang activity in the area.
3 people were killed in a high-speed crash on Pacific Coast Highway early this morning. A Mercedes-Benz crashed head-on into a Honda and split in half. The driver of the Mercedes and 2 people in the Honda were pronounced dead at the scene. The cause of the crash is still under investigation.
The Associated Students' budget is running low, and AS is providing partial funding for clubs. The Robotics Club requested the most money, $15,000. It was granted just $10,000. The Athlon Graduation Committee asked for at least $500. They got their entire amount, but 7 other clubs received only partial funding.
Penn State has suspended the Kappa Delta Rho fraternity for taking pictures of naked women and posting them on Facebook. The women were either sleeping or passed out. Members were also accused with sharing photos of during sales and hazing. The 2 Facebook pages have been shut down. CSUN and other campus fraternities around the country are dealing with these issues regarding fraternities. Janelle Ruiz is sitting with President of SAE, Eric Slay.
Thanks, Alexi. So I'm here with Eric, and we're definitely going to touch base upon the OU incident that occurred. But we want to know how CSUN, the SAE's chapter, is dealing with the negative outcome.
Well, first we want to make very clear that what happened at OU was a disgusting display of prejudice that is in no way representative of the CSUN chapter of SAE or Sigma Alpha Epsilon as a whole. Here, basically, it's easy for us. We have a very diverse chapter, and yeah, any questions or anything like that, we're more than open to answering about the issue.
Do you think the backlash from the University of Oklahoma will affect the fall recruitment of your chapter?
We hope not. Because of how diverse our chapter is, we hope that that's, we know that's what we're going to put out front and center. We have nothing to hide here, and again, absolutely do not agree with what happened in that video, and it just doesn't happen here. We're just too diverse of a chapter.
So you do agree that SAE is a good representative of the diversity within the Greek life? Yes,
and it's not just SAE. I believe that all of the Panhellenic sororities and the IFC fraternities are great representations of the campus. This is a very diverse campus, and when you have a diverse campus, the Greek life shows that, and I think that all of them do. IFC and Panhellenic had just put together a hashtag of What We Value Wednesday, where we show everything that we value, and none of those things were racism. In no way does this campus, my organization or any organization on this campus, support any kind of racist language or behavior or any discriminatory actions.
Well, thank you for stopping by and having a little chat with us. Back to you at the studio.
The DWP is draining 70,000 gallons of water from a severely corroded pipe in the Eagle Rock Reservoir. DWP spokesperson Michelle Figueroa says the pipe needs to be drained so that work to fix and improve the reservoir can begin. Figueroa also says work on the pipeline needs to be done to avoid an even greater loss of water. Some Eagle Rock residents use buckets to capture some of the water to use it to wash their cars and water their plants. Figueroa says the amount of water being lost is about 0.01% of the daily water use of the city of Los Angeles.
A California state board is set to vote on a proposal that would set tougher restrictions on water yards and landscaping. California is expecting its 4th year of drought conditions. And the State Water Resources Control Board says better conservation measures are needed. The proposal would limit watering to 2 days a week for both residential areas and businesses. The potential new restrictions are not expected to have a large impact on homeowners. Agriculture may be severely affected. However, as changes proposed by the Napa Valley vintners may make efforts for new wineries to gain approval.
A Canadian tourist has died after a tour boat collided with a whale off the coast in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Jennifer Karen fell into the water after the collision. A tour guide and another passenger jumped in to save her. Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and first aid were administered. She was then rushed to the hospital, but was pronounced dead. And here is Frankie Benkovic with the latest entertainment news.
Thank you, Justin. Another host from East Fashion Police has quit the show. Kathy Griffin announced via social media that she is leaving after only 7 episodes. She stepped in for Joan Rivers after her death back in September. Griffin tweeted that her style does not fit with the creative direction of the show and it's time to move on. Her announcement comes weeks after former co-star Kelly Osbourne quit the show over racial remarks made by another host. Singer-songwriter Elton John is leading a boycott against gay fashion designers Dolce & Gabbana over their synthetic babies remark. The fashion duo criticized same-sex families and children who are conceived through artificial insemination. Domenico Dolce told NBC New York last week, "You were born to a mother and a father, or at least that's how it should be." Elton John fired back via Instagram saying, "How dare he refer to my beautiful children as synthetic." Reality TV star Kat Von D faces growing backlash on social media about her popular makeup line sold at Sephora. Von D gave one of her lipsticks a name that is memorable for all the wrong reasons. It's called Underage Red. Von D faced similar backlash in 2013 when she released a hue called Celeb Butard, which was pulled from Sephora's shelves. New Zealand's version of X Factor has sent 2 judges home for what it called some of the most vicious comments ever made on a singing competition. Husband-wife judging duo Natalia Kills and Willie Moon unleashed a tirade of abuse against contestant Joe Irvine. Kills began by calling Irvine a laughingstock and disgusting. Then Moon took it to a higher extreme. He told the contestant, "I feel like you're going to stitch someone's skin to your face and then kill everyone in the audience." X Factor posted a statement to Facebook that it does not condone bullying. And that's it for entertainment. Now back to you, Justin.
Polls have closed in Israel after millions cast their votes for the next prime minister. Current Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has accused leftist political parties of busing Arab voters to the polls. His 2 main opponents joined forces in hopes to defeat the incumbent.
Bring your friends, bring your family. Vote for Likud so we can close the gap between us and Labour Party. With your help, with God's help, we will have a national government and we can create a national government that can secure the state of Israel.
Netanyahu's main opponents, Zippy Livni and Isaac Herzog, cast their votes earlier this morning. Herzog, who comes from Israel political party, is seen as Netanyahu's main challenger. He believes it is his destiny to be prime minister. Livni is the leader of the Hatnua party and chair of the Zionist Union. She was also a member of Israel's intelligence agency, Mossad. Analysts are predicting a huge turnout. As many as 80% of eligible Israelis voted today.
71-year-old real estate magnate Robert Durst is facing murder charges in Los Angeles, but his hearing is being delayed because he is facing charges of possession of a firearm and marijuana in New Orleans. Durst is accused of killing his wife and 2 others. He is heard conferences to the crime in an HBO documentary.
One of Mexico's most ruthless cartel leaders was captured last week. Mexican authorities were able to catch Zeta's boss, Trevino Morales, without firing a single shot. Morales was arrested in the suburb of the industrial city of Monterrey. Authorities say he is one of the most dangerous and bloodthirsty criminals in Mexico. The U.S. State Department offered a reward of $5 million for information leading to Morales' arrest.
Authorities in India say a 71-year-old nun was raped during a robbery. They say a group of 8 men broke into a Christian school in East India. The nun attempted to stop the men who were trying to steal money and computers. Authorities say one of the robbers raped her in retaliation. Authorities say no arrests have been made.
ISIS has kidnapped 20 medical workers at a hospital in Libya. 30 gunmen from ISIS attacked the hospital while the workers were waiting for a bus to take them to the capital of Tripoli. Hospital officials said the workers were from the Philippines, Ukraine, India, and Serbia. Officials say the medical workers were trying to leave the city because they feared for their safety.
Hundreds of thousands of protesters took over the streets of Brazil this past weekend. Demonstrators demanded the impeachment of President Dilma Rousseff. The protesters wore the country's colors, waved flags, and chanted, "Out Dilma." Protesters say Brazilian investigators are discovering huge money laundering in addition to a bribery case involving the country's nation oil company.
An LA marathon runner was brought back to life after the man suffered cardiac arrest this past Sunday. Paramedics were able to restart the 61-year-old's heart after he collapsed just after the 4 miles from the finish line. Temperatures reached the 90s during the race.
And here is Ulises Vargas with sports, including the latest on the Lady Matadors, who are headed to the final dance.
The CSUN women's basketball team is advancing to the NCAA tournament after winning the Big West Championship for the 2nd year in a row. The Matadors are the 13th seed. They will face 4th seed at Stanford. This is the 4th time in 7 years that a Big West team has had to play Stanford in the first round of the tournament. The game will be played this Saturday in Palo Alto. The LA Galaxy and Portland Timbers saved the best for last in a thrilling game this past weekend. Timber striker Fernando Adi almost played the role of hero after scoring a goal in the 90th minute to put Portland up to 2-1. But Galaxy forward Alan Gordon tied the game at 2 in the final minute. The Galaxy returns home to host the Houston Dynamo Saturday night. The defending Stanley Cup champions are in the playoffs once again. After defeating the Arizona Coyotes 1-0, the Kings have regained their playoff position. Andy Andreoff scored his first NHL goal and the only one in the game in the second period. Goalie Jonathan Quick had 6 shutouts the Quick season. Quick recorded 25 saves. The Kings are also now in sole possession of the second and final Western Conference wildcard spot. The team has 13 games left this season. And the Los Angeles Kings Stanley Cup Championship was named the greatest moment of 2014 in Southern California sports. The Kings defeated the New York Rangers 4-2 to win the Cup for the 2nd time in 3 years. The award was announced by the Los Angeles Sports Council. It celebrates the greatest sports moments of the year in the LA and Orange County area. And that's it for the latest in sports. Now back to you, Alexi.
It is currently in the high 70s in the valley. Temperatures will increase to the low 80s during the next few days. We will have beautiful weather on the weekend with temperatures staying in the low 80s.
Thank you for watching Matador News. I'm Justin Gutierrez.
I'm Alexi Chibashian.
I'm Frankie Benkovic.
And I'm Ulises. Have a good day.